Morning, 6th of January, Tuesday, and it's freezing. There's no bricklaying going on this week. It doesn't really bother me. I've never took January and February too serious, really. If I'm here and the weather's okay, I'll do a bit, but I'm not bothered. I normally like to get away, but circumstances this year have not been able to. I'm going away in March, so I'll wait for that. Right, what's this video about? I've got a new camera, and be quite honest, I'm sitting home bored, so I thought I'd do a short video on a bit of local history where I was brought up, on the River Lee navigation at Waltham Abbey. So let me first just give you a bit of an insight into the canals of Great Britain. They were part of a big infrastructure built between 1700 and 1800, most of them. And it's more about the people who built them, the navvies as they were known, because they built the navigations. Originally, they just used local labour from the farms and that, but the farmers started getting the hump because they was losing their labour, especially at harvest time. So they eventually brought in a law that said there was no recruiting allowed during the corn harvest. They're all unskilled people, really, but after about 30, 40 years, you know, certain groups became very skilled in what they did. They was good at what they did, and they travelled all around the country, you know, going to the best paid jobs, really, best paid contracts to dig these canals out. It was all dug out by hand. A lot of them were Scottish, because one of the first canals built was the Caledonian, and a lot of Irish came over. You know, the transport was pretty cheap, and they came over here. They lived in quite a lot of squalor, really. I mean, they built encampments at the side of the canal, and what I've been reading, they had a couple of cows there, they had a brewery there, a lot of them, but their diet was oatmeal, potatoes, and beer and milk, really. Possibly fish, because they was working on a river, weren't they? And a lot of them were paid in tokens, which were supposed to be honoured into currency, and that didn't happen. There was loads of problems. People getting knocked, people not getting paid. There was riots over the quality of the bread at times. It was a hard life. It must have been very hard. I mean, kids nowadays, man, they've only got 10% left on their phone, don't they? It's not the same as eating oatmeal and potatoes every day, is it? So but what they achieved, they achieved 3,000 miles of canals, 10,000 bridges. There's only about 3,000 of them left now. 1,800 locks, bricklayers involved there, 74 reservoirs, 37 aqueducts, and 53 tunnels. The bricklayers had been involved in that as well. So there was a lot of bricklaying involved in it. So that's just a brief history of it. So let me explain what we're doing here. So the Lee navigation is not a true canal, it's a navigation. The canal is a canal which is totally dug out by hand and just a new construction, where the navigation is the course of a river where it's been altered and locks have been put in and it's been canalised on parts of it, and this is what the River Lee is, River Lee navigation. Now, the River Lee itself is 27.5 miles long. Blimey, this is slippery here. End up in that bloody water. From Hertford to Bow at the Thames. Work began in 1767 and was completed in 1771. That was the first part of it. It was a busy river prior to that, and it had several flash locks, that's what they called them, and it's where the water's held back, and then the barge sits on top of that higher bit of water, and then they just open the gate, and then the barge goes through in a big gush of water. Primitive, but it works, and there was lots of fisheries and fishery weirs, and they was all toll gates, and people just making loads of money out of it, really. But it was busy, because where was that? We know in, what year was that? 1640, there was 500 journeys that barges went backwards and forwards through Waltham Lock, as it was called. Now, the first lock ever built on a river in England was at Waltham Abbey. and they reckon it was around 1571, I think. Yeah, 1571. It was rebuilt in 1682 at a cost of £261, 12 shillings and a penny. That was a lot of money then, a hell of a lot of money. So, Waltham Town Lock. What do you notice about it? It's in a busy area. In the day, Waltham Abbey was just there. There was, before Holbrook was there, was Waltham New Town. And then Waltham crossed the mile down the road. There's no house. There's no lock house, there's just a lock. And what's the reason for that? Well, the reason for that is that this lock has not always been here. Waltham Town Lock was the other side of that bridge. And the reason for that is that that bridge there used to be a humpback bridge to allow the traffic, the barges and traffic to go through. So they decided they needed to put a flat bridge in, and that's the one there, as you can see. So they had to move the lock from downstream to up here. So in 1922 this lock was built and the other lock was abandoned, and that lowered the water by 4 foot 3 inches, which would then allow this bridge to be built here, and it would give the headroom to let the canal boats through. Let's have a walk up here. Funny it's not frozen here, is it? But it's frozen above the lock. So it's called a dead pound up there. Like these locks are called pound locks. Where there's no flow, you get more ice on top of the water. There is a little bit of flow there coming through. Jesus, it is cold though. So here we have the bridge, well, which was built in 1922, I suppose. Mind your head. We've got some ice here. Definitely have some ice here. So as we walk up here, there used to be, where these flats are, a pub. The Old English Gentleman. Okay, so if you look over there and down here, you can see where the 4 foot 3 inches drop was, that, how much the water line drops here to allow for the bridge. We'll take a walk up here. People keeping warm in their boats. Not bad life, I suppose, but not too funny in this weather, is it? Can't go anywhere, can you? You're frozen in. Right. So we now are approaching the site of the original lock, and it's where these railings are here. And here is the original lock house. And it's a beautiful house, beautiful old Victorian house. It's part of this development here now. It's been turned into flats. People live in there now. Gaunt bricks, glazed arches, glazed jack arches. I haven't done any, they did it up, they didn't do any work on the arches, I don't think they did, they? Looks like a boat has been through there, doesn't it? The ice is broken up. Right, just a couple of things about this house. It was built in 1878, and the surveyor remarked that the brickwork was quite exceptional and good standard, but the internals and the plastering were poor. Nothing changes, does it? And the engineer should remonstrate with the builder. Yeah. So that's the story of that. The next picture I put up is probably from here somewhere. I'll put it up as a picture I found. They're unloading the barge here with some timbers, probably here actually, where this boat is here now. And in the background you can just see the humpback bridge. It really was a humpback bridge. So yeah, you can see why they did it. I spent half my childhood along this river. I remember there were some barges here one day, I don't know, it was about 10 or 11, and we weren't breaking into them, just being nosy, have a look, and we opened one up and it was full up with peanuts, loads of peanuts, but all kinds of stuff was ferried up and down here. Malt, barley, timber obviously, and oysters apparently. I don't know how they kept them, but she who must not be named. Right, this little old bridge here, it's been here a long time. The photos I've seen, it's over 100 years old, I reckon. And obviously the horse-drawn barges, and this is where the old boy, he'd have to walk up here, give him a bit of grip, and for the horses as well, I suppose. And this cut here off of the main river, or the main canal, it's not like it is now. It's been opened up to allow these few boats to stay here and that, and it's like a tiny little marina really. But over there is Jewson's, and when I was a kid it was George E. Gray's. And I think George E. Gray still exists somewhere in Essex, if it's the same company. But the story is that, I mean, there's always been a timber yard there, and timber was moved up and down this canal, right, you know, from Ware, Hertford, all the way down from Bow. And this cut here was where the barges would be brought in to unload in the wood yard there, from George E. Gray's and whatever was before. There would always been a wood yard there. I never remember it being used. It was full of lily pads and all that when I was a kid. But I do remember horse-drawn barges in the 60s, and there is a photo of one in the 70s, which I will put up. I don't recall seeing it, to be quite honest, but he was probably the only one doing it at the time. And I've got to try and get down the other side of this bridge, but going arse over tit, which is easily done, I should imagine. Oh, that's everywhere. Right, we've managed that. Right. We go on. So, this is where we used to fish all the time. That's the relief channel over there. When that was being constructed, this used to flow into here, and this river was part flowing to a weir further up, which I'll show you. But just here, and I'll put the picture up, it's not a clear picture, used to be a little calf. Used to belong to a lady named Jean and her husband, and they lived there. They sold a little bit of fishing tackle, fishing bait. Used to do some lovely cheese and tomato rolls, I remember. They had 2 caravans and lived there, and this was a busy place for fishing. They used to hold the league championships here. I actually won the juniors here 2 years running, 1969 and 1970, so I was like 13, 14. But I don't know what they've done here, this Lee Valley Parks. These trees there used to be a big willow tree there, used to hang over. Plenty of cover for the fish and that. Now the cormorants can just get in here and do what they like, can't they? This has all been built, all of that. Nice little V-dub camper there. Yeah. It's all changed, but it hasn't, is it? The water never changes, does it? If we just come up here a little bit, there, this is where the waterworks are. Oh, there's actually someone there. Normally no one here. We've got 2 people here today. I can tell you what's wrong with that. It's frozen. Right, somewhere here, along here, there used to be a pipe come out. I think it was here somewhere. It used to send out warm water. And this old boy used to fish here. He's called him the Hemp King. And he used to fish with hemp all the time for roach. Because of the warm water, he had great big catches of roach he used to get. And he lived up the road here, just as you get into what's now Holbrook, Waltham Town on the main road. And they were all old Victorian cottages, and they was all compulsory purchased. And he refused to move. And I don't know what happened to him in the end. They got him out in the end, but they pulled all the houses down. And his house was the only one there, with him living in it. Poor old sod. Oh, he probably wasn't that old then. I was young, probably only in his 40s. Yeah. So, what's going on here? Fires. It's so busy now with traffic. These people living on these boats. This little contraption here. Someone's living on it. Right, this part of the river here is called Dunlop's Bend. Well, basically because it's a bend. But the reason why it's called Dunlop's Bend is that over there used to be Dunlop's factory. Making cricket bats and tennis rackets, and the story goes, and I don't believe it, behind there where it was runs the small River Lee, which runs off from Aqueduct Lock, which is I think 3 locks upstream up that way, runs around the back here, around the back. There's a lot of willow trees growing there, and the story goes that Dunlop's put the factory there to use the willows to make the cricket bats with. I don't somehow believe that, but yeah, it's a story. And on the other side of the river there, the little River Lee, was the largest Ramney travellers camp in the south of England. If not England, but it was definitely south of England, which was called the Willows. And the entrance was at the top of my road where I used to live. Led for an exciting childhood, I can tell you. Yeah, and this is Dunlop's Bend. It's quite a wide stretch. It gives the narrow boats a chance to turn around and they want to face the other way. There's an interesting boat there. He goes up and down the river selling coal and gas, logs, everything you want. Good little business, eh? If you're living on it, might as well make some money out of it. I think I fancy doing it, to be quite honest. Right, let's walk up here now. We're going to walk up to Rammey Marsh Lock, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. There is a cafe up here. I'll show you. They used to sell alcohol. I don't know if they still do. Oh yeah, look, fully licensed bar. Dangerous. I remember I said to you earlier that this flowed over there. If I can get this to work. Can you see that over there? that big lump of timber, that's where the old weir was. So the water, the river used to run up here and out there to the weir, which is known as Cobbins Brook. That bit there, I believe. And over there, and it always was there, was I can't remember if it's Scouts or Sea Scouts, and I didn't know if they were still going. But the boat's there, and that shed, hut, or whatever it is, looks new-ish. I've not seen that before, but it does get overgrown in the summer. You can't always see it properly. It looks like they're still using it. I can't say I do come along here quite a bit. I can't say I've ever seen anyone there. We won't this time of year, but and we're still frozen. Right, this is the M25. We're just walking under there. So, in actual fact, we are. When we get to the other side, at the moment we're in. Where are we? We're the west side of the river. So we're in Hertfordshire at the moment, and to get to the other side, technically we'll be in London, or we'll be in Enfield, which is London. It's so much fly tipping here. So easy for them, isn't it? Just to drive up here and dump their shit. I know what I'd do with them. I used to get in there and dump it all there, but they fenced it off, but then they just dump it here. The old boats took a broadside. They just leave them there though, don't they? I don't know what the... Who's it down to? They can't find the owner, can they? It's like they dump cars everywhere. And over there, through them edges, is Rammey Marsh. It was wetlands really, and it ran all the way down to the Thames in the day. Then, when I was a kid, there was gravel pits there. They dug it all out, filled it in, and they was going to do some stuff, put some other ponds and that in there. When they dug it out, the land was all contaminated. It's all the shit they put back in there. That's how it goes, isn't it? And this is like a little marina place. It's a club. It gets quite lively in the summer. People out barbecuing and enjoying the life, really. And here we are, Rammey Marsh Lock. It's got a bit of history to it. And the lock house. Well, that's a new lock house. That much I can tell you. And that was built in the 70s. Let me just check. I did look it up. It was rebuilt in 1973. And the original house, it was a bit unusual. It wasn't quite like the other ones where it's face brickwork. It was like slop dash, pebble dash or slop dash from the pictures. And that was built in 1877 for the sum of £185. It seems quite reasonable to me. It's like an island there. You get Cobbins Brook runs around the back of it. So it's sort of like an island, and there used to be an old Victorian swimming pool there. But I don't know, 60 years ago it wasn't in use. It had water in it, but it was green. No one used it. Yeah, they've long stopped using it. And if you look at the bridge here, have a look. If you can see that, it's got 1835 written on it. That's actually, the first lock was built in 1768, then that bridge was added, and then it was rebuilt in 1864, and the bridge was taken down and put back. So that's what a lot of people think. This was built in 1835, this lock, but it wasn't. Now the interesting thing is, if I take you around here, we can see it. He's going for a drink. Let's go around here. All rubbish. Shit everywhere. See these stones? The big stones there. Running up to where the lock gates are. They came from Westminster Bridge. When Westminster Bridge was taken down, that Portland stone was taken from Westminster Bridge along the canal, I presume, up there, and put into here to build the lock. Why? I don't know. It's a long way to do it. I don't know what was the reason for that, but it's still there. If we look up there, that's going towards Enfield Lock and towards London. Oh, let's have a look. All these locks are 16 foot wide, I think. This is one of only 2 automatic locks, as you can see there. The others are all rope and hand pull and whatever. I don't know what's open down here, if anything.
Debt. If anything, I'm only in this situation because I'm paying it flat.
The River Garden Cafe and Bistro. I've not been in here for a while. I probably won't go in here now, to be quite honest, but just want to have a look. Looks like I spent a bit of money on it, done it up. A good place to note if you're ever down this way. I don't think it's open to me. Oh, it is open. The gate's open. I'd say it is, but yeah, there you are. If you're ever passing, plenty of parking. Oh, I've just pulled into Waltham Abbey. Trying to find a pub, have a pint before I go home. Right. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed that little video. Really, it's just an experiment to try and get the hang of this new camera with a few hiccups. I'll try and iron out on the editing. But yeah, it's on a gimbal. It's the Osmo 3. They take a bit of getting used to, but yeah, it's all about practice. I know. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and won't be long till I'll get something else out, and it will be about bricklaying. Just a quick one for the end of that video. All the information I got there, well, I knew quite a bit of it myself, but it was all gained off the internet and the photos. But there's one very good website on there. It's called the leeandstolt.co.uk. Lee spelled L-E-E. It was put together by a fellow called Richard Thomas. I don't know him, but I'd just like to acknowledge him. It's full of information here. Yeah, have a look if you're interested in it.